Next game on the list, the revenge game. Cleveland -1 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not going to talk about the helmet stuff. I'm not going to talk about the racial stuff. Everybody's talked about that. Let's just talk about the game here. What I will say is Pittsburgh, I think, will want some kind of revenge based on what happened at the end of the game. And I think Cleveland will want some kind of revenge. I think they're all lining up with their people there. If Mason Rudolph plays, I think he's going to get pummeled by the Cleveland defensive line. I think he's in for a tough day. I think that he's in for a tough game. Now, Cleveland -1 on the road at Pittsburgh. I think just based on motivation and playing at Heinz Field, Pittsburgh's just always a little bit better there. I think Pittsburgh covers this spread. I think the game is 21-20. I think Cleveland's going to score similarly to what they scored a couple Thursday night football games ago. I think Pittsburgh will do better than 4 interceptions from their quarterback. So I think Pittsburgh wins the game outright. So I will take the point as well with Pittsburgh at home. And also, division underdogs at home tend to cover a lot of the time too. So look, I think it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a great game to watch as an NFL fan. I think Pittsburgh covers, but Cleveland. Let me say this: I've been talking the last couple of weeks. I've been talking Cleveland up. Baker Mayfield is playing better and better and better. Njoku, don't forget about him. He could be activated this week, so pay attention to that because he could have a nice game. But let's talk about the fantasy stats. Now, I don't have Mayfield projected as a starter, but I do think, once again, he will exceed expectations. I think he'll play well, and he always plays a little bit better with a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder in this game. Nick Chubb, I like. Kareem Hunt, I hate the addition from a fantasy point of view. I hate the addition. Now, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, I think you like having Kareem Hunt on the team, but all he's doing is diluting Nick Chubb. It's just a bummer. But Kareem Hunt, I think, is worth a start because he'll get enough catches for you. Jarvis Landry, once again, I think is more likely to get in the end zone, but we saw what happened last week. Odell, the mighty sleeping giant has woken, so Odell could get back in there as well. I mentioned Njoku. If he's activated, I like him as a play this week. Now, for Pittsburgh, I don't like the quarterback. I do like the running back. Which running back is it going to be? Is it going to be Jalen Samuels? Is it going to be Benny Snell? Is it going to be James Conner? I don't know. I like Benny Snell as a great waiver wire pickup. He just looks better. Possibly even than James Conner. The problem is Pittsburgh just doesn't like to run the ball. They don't want to focus on it. It's like they ignore it. It's like they still think that Ben Roethlisberger's throwing the ball. I think they needed to adjust this defense, and I think that they're going to miss the playoffs, unfortunately, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. But, if they take care of business, this week they're certainly in the thick of things. Juju, Diontae, I actually like James Washington once again to get in the end zone for his third straight week. He did do well, or at least get in the end zone against Cleveland the last time they played, although I think he was the only healthy one left by the end of that tough played game. And then you got Vance McDonald, I think, is a fringe start. We'll see what happens there. I liked Vance McDonald's projection last week, and I think he had like 0.6 points or something. He was garbage, so take that for what it's worth.